with your host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com, broadcasting live on YouTube and X. Wishing you a happy and healthy new year. It is 2025, the first Rome Show of 2025, and we hope you are excited for the second year of the Rome Show times 12OZ Sports. We get you started by reminding you got to head to youtube.com/12OZ Sports. That's youtube.com/12OZ Sports. You're going to want to hit subscribe on the YouTube channel, and then you are able to access every Rome Show, not just moving forward into 2025, but every Rome Show from 2024. You can also get the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. That's youtube.com/12OZ Sports. And then subscribe to 12OZ Sports and you will be locked. Of course, head to the social medias, Rome Show 1. That's Instagram, Twitter, X, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you call them, wherever you find them, the Rome Show 1, or of course, same as the YouTube and the website, 12ozsports.com. It is January 2nd, 2025. However, it is our first show, and there is so much to talk about, a lot in the positive light, but the most important, sadly, in the negative light, and we will touch on that in a second. So your schedule goes as this: college football playoff quarterfinals. We had 3 games yesterday, another today, 2 yesterday, another today, and 1 on New Year's Eve. We have the National Football League to discuss. We will not be in studio live tomorrow for the Rome Show. We'll give you all that information, but we want to make sure we give you our weekend picks in the National Football League, so we will do that. I'm going to give you the 3 things I think you need to watch this coming weekend in all of the sports world, and then we make our first set of picks for the 2025 year. If you're wondering what the record sitting behind me is on the whiteboard, that is exactly what that is. That's our bananas record for the 2024 year. So 180 and 144 for our picks, during the 2024 year. So hoping that we can continue to improve upon that number and put some bananas on your bushel during the 2025 Pick'em season. Remember, it's the Rome Show, and we are on daily 12OZ Sports, broadcasting live at 7 a.m. I am Andrew Romanella. I am generally here with you every single day. We're joined every Tuesday by my brother, Rocky Romanella. He will break down all of your hockey and, I think, colorful opinions would be the best way to put it, across the sports world. We're hoping we can become your daily morning talk show. Okay. I double down as a college baseball coach, so that might be why you find pockets of time that the Rome Show is not necessarily on live every single day at 7 a.m. But 99% of the time, you're going to get a live Rome Show at 7 a.m. And the guys at 12OZ Sports do such a fantastic job. And we're not the only show. 7 a.m., 1 o'clock, 6 p.m., dailies, and you got a whole plethora of other shows that jump in and out of the schedule during your 7-day week. Some exciting news I heard coming to the station this year, which we will hold off until official, but just so much to be thankful for coming out of 2024 and so much to be excited about going into 2025. But it would behoove me, and I don't believe I would be doing this job appropriately if I immediately jumped into a breakdown of the college sports from over the weekend or a prediction of the National Football League from over the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day holiday, getting you ready for week 18 in the NFL, whatever it is. It would behoove me, and I don't think I would be doing justice and a service to this job and the great broadcasters that have come before me. It was a really sad day yesterday for the American people. And we fancy ourselves as a show that tries to enjoy some time in what seems like the not so important, which is the sports world, when a situation like this happens. The football game in New Orleans was postponed to today, which is why we will be breaking down only 3 games from the last 2 days of football, and rightfully so. And the first thing that I would like to say is that my thoughts and my prayers go out to the over 60 plus families that have been affected by this insane potential terrorist attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. And when something like this happens, it truly does put into perspective what we're doing every single day. And it is fun to be a college baseball coach. And it is fun to talk on the radio every day. And it is fun to celebrate New Year's with a party and do all of these different things that you fill your life with enjoyment. But at the end of the day, reality hits. And the world we are living in is scary and it is dangerous right now. And for 15 people and over 40 to be injured, 15 people killed and over 40 injured to start the 2025 year. Another car blows up in front of the Trump Towers in Las Vegas. It's disturbing. And it's very sad that this is where the people of our world are. It's disturbing and sad that somebody would wake up and think, I want to hurt innocent people. That's my goal today. It's very disturbing. And again, our thoughts and prayers here, 12 Ounce Sports, The Rome Show, to every family and every person affected by what they saw on January 1st, 2025. And I just pray that at some point in time, we can start an uptick towards a world where it is fun to live in, a world that doesn't feel so dangerous, and a world where we can turn the microphone on and we can talk about sports. And maybe we could be a little bit too serious about it. Maybe we could get a little bit too mad at our favorite team or disagree a lot or too much with our favorite organization. And some days you think to yourself, this is just sports. The real life is super scary. So there's nothing that can fill in what's going on and what's gone on. And there's no amount of sports or anything that you could put on television or play or do that's going to help any of this. So all that I hope is that we begin a process of repair. The American people can come together for the people of New Orleans. And if anything, sports, a show like this, any other show or thing that you watch or love or listen to can just be a mere minor distraction from what feels like our world crumbling on all of us. So here we'd like to take a quick second and just have a moment of silence for the people that lost their lives yesterday, people that have lost their lives across the history of our great nation because of acts like this, We'll hit a commercial break, and then we will come back. And for a quick second, hopefully bring you to a moment where we can just distract and talk about sports for a minute. Not forget, just distract. Because sometimes it is so scary and so sad that you might need that welcome distraction. Thoughts and prayers to everybody that was affected in New Orleans yesterday.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Yeah, it's the Rome Show, 12ouncesports.com. Andrew Romanella here with you, broadcasting live on YouTube and X. Happy 2025. Welcome to the new year. We hope you spend your time with the Rome Show every single day during the 2025 season. Follow us on social media, the Rome Show 1. Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, all the things. 12OZ Sports. Follow them. Go to youtube.com/12OZ Sports and hit subscribe. On New Year's Eve, Boise State took on Penn State University in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, the first of 4 college football playoff quarterfinal games. A lot of storylines heading into the college football playoff quarterfinal. None greater than that of Ashton Jeanty, of the Boise State Broncos. Jeanty came into this game 28 yards shy, 134 yards, I believe it was, away from Barry Sanders' record all-time rushing in college football. Sadly, he did not accomplish that feat, falling 28 yards, there you go, short of the record, finishing with 2,601 total yards and 29 TDs. A lot of people not happy that Ashton Jeanty did not win the Heisman Trophy. Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy. He finished the game versus Penn State, 30 carries, 104 yards, averaging 7.3 yards per carry. Tough, however, though, when Boise State found themselves down 14 early in this game and found themselves playing from behind for a majority of this game to continue to feed your feature running back. Penn State 31, Boise State 14 at the end of it. Penn State scored 14 in the first quarter and 17 total in the first half. Boise State battled, however. The fourth quarter started with Boise State down by 3. However, I think the difference, Boise State down by 10. Boise State in this game did not have a defense that had longevity enough to handle the Penn State attack that was dual, both offensively through the air and on the ground. And Penn State really had their way offensively, especially early. And I think you're going to see that trend throughout the 3 games we talk about, is that the team that came out hot, the team that came out and was able to move the football, was the team that ultimately won the game. And for Penn State, Drew Aller played really well. 3 TDs, 171 yards, only needed 25 pass attempts. And I believe I said this during the game. And I'm not Penn State Nittany Lion historian, nor my college football historian, but this feels like the best passing attack Penn State has had in my lifetime of watching college football. Before we move on to the next game, I would like to apologize to the people. Now, I picked Boise State at the 11.5, got them at 12.5 on game day. They obviously lost by 17. Really did feel some hope there that Boise State was going to cover at least. But I just have to apologize. I think I let my heart get into these picks a little bit here. I believe I love the underdog. And I also just didn't want to believe that the committee and the idea of the 12-team playoff in the first year was so drastically wrong, where it's so wrong that every seed 1 through 4 is possibly going to not make it to the semifinal. I think that should tell you something about the way the rules of the college football playoff were instituted. Maybe we don't have the conference champion have the first round bye. Maybe they get automatically into the playoff, but the seeding comes down to where we feel these schools are based on ability or whatever. I mean, Vegas obviously had all of these teams as favorites. Even though Ohio State was the 8 seed and Oregon was the 1 seed, they were favored in that game, right? So clearly it was obvious to some, if not a lot, not myself, present company excluded, why I said I'm apologizing for my take on that. But that is also, I think, why I apologize and why I say my heart got into it, because I just don't want to believe that I feel like I just wasted time. Like I really do. I really do feel that way. I feel like I just wasted 2 weeks of my life, whether it was anticipation or watching the games leading up to this or arguing any points of this. At the end of the day, I feel like this was not the way we were supposed to get to maybe Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, and whoever wins Notre Dame and Georgia, if that's who everyone believes the best teams are. But if Oregon was truly the number 1 seed in the country, they in theory should have had the easiest path to the championship, and they did not have that, which leads me to believe we need to work on a reseeding situation here, whether that be no automatic bye for conference champions or you just seed per round. There's no 1, 3, you just seed per round, reseeding, so that we feel like we're getting the appropriate matchups. But that's a conversation for another day. I just want to take a second and apologize, because obviously I was going all underdogs here by Vegas' standards, and I was definitely not right. We got a fun finish, though, in the Texas-Arizona State game. Got some clips for you on that. Arizona State found themselves up 31-24 in overtime, with a chance to win this game. Back and forth affair in this one. Arizona State needed to score 16 points in the fourth quarter and 21 total points in the second half to come back in this contest, and they did just that. They tied the game at 24, took it to overtime. They score. They go up 31 24, have Texas at a 4th and 8. And Quinn Ewer says, oh, everybody's ready for Arch Manning? Hold, please. I'm not done with my Texas run. Say to yourself, okay, this is probably going to fall in the way of Texas. Well, you definitely guessed it, because Texas then gets the ball. And Golden had a day for Texas, by the way. 7 receptions, 149 yards, and a TD. But that's not how the game ended, because Arizona State gets the football back. And that is how it ended for Arizona State yesterday. And arguably the best player in the country is Cam Scatabo, who was named the offensive MVP on the losing team. Yes, round of applause for Scatabo. The Arizona State running back had quite the day, 143 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, and then 99 yards in the air, receiving, excuse me. He also threw a touchdown. So here's the deal. If I'm drafting somebody in this draft, I think I want this guy. The energy, the care level. You saw some videos of him on the sidelines yesterday. Just a lot of good stuff out of that dude. Dual threat type guy. And so Texas moves on, and Texas will face Ohio State, who in the 3rd game of 4 slaughtered number 1 Oregon, who was winless or lossless. Now they're 1 losses, 41-21. Howard had a day. The quarterback for Ohio State had 319 yards and 3 TDs. Wide receiver Trevion Henderson, he had a day. And it was everything Ohio State wanted to do versus Oregon. They did it. It was a 34-0 lead in the first half before Oregon can even sniff what a point felt like in this football game. And then Oregon's able to score in back-to-back possessions and make it what looks like, feels like, maybe this could be a football game. But their defense was so porous on this day, they were unable to do anything. And Ohio State, who, again, I apologize to, I'm a man that can admit when they are wrong. And maybe I still don't fully believe in Ryan Day and James Franklin at Penn State and Ohio State. In 2024/2025, they have proven me wrong in terms of the ability to win the big game. And to go back to the moment of Ryan Day losing to Michigan, this is why you don't make coaching decisions based on rivalry games. You make coaching decisions based on the expectations of the university and the program. If the expectations of the university and the program are national championship or bust, well, then Ryan Day is putting himself in the position every single year to be able to go national championship, essentially, or bust. So kudos to Ohio State. Kudos to Penn State. Kudos to Texas. And now we just await one more semifinal participant. As we mentioned at the beginning of the show, the reasons terribly why the Sugar Bowl was postponed. So it's going to be played today at 4 p.m. The All-State Sugar Bowl, Notre Dame versus Georgia. Notre Dame is favored in this game by 1 point. Now, listen, I was right on the Arizona State pick. Not that I was right on them winning. I was right on the cover. So I'm still 1-2 in the spreads. And we could still get that +1 on the Georgia that we called for. But we will see. We got about 5-6 minutes left of the show. And there's a few things we want to do, starting with, what are you watching this weekend? You might be saying, Andrew, what are you talking about? Well, when the Dab podcast first started, we had a segment called What You Watching? But I got to get the sounder for that one. It was Anthony saying, what you watching to me. And we would start talking about what we wanted to watch over the weekend. And I really enjoyed that segment. And I felt like bringing that segment back for the people. So here is your On the Rome Show, first installment of What You Watching. And we do it like this. There are 3 things I'm going to give you that I'm going to tell you I want you to watch this weekend. And hopefully you watch this weekend. Here you go. 3.
Wait.
The Celtics, 24-9, number 2 in the Eastern Conference. The Oklahoma City Thunder, 27-5, first place in the Western Conference. OKC coming in a 12-game winning streak right now. Okay. 10-0 in their last 10 is what that means. And 12-0 in their last 12. That's not losing. The Celtics, however, 5-5 in their last 10. And is the worst is a poor word to use, is the least good they've played all season. Okay. Well, this is a showdown. It's happening on Sunday. Okay. So it's a Sunday afternoon showdown. So if you want to see two teams that are potentially the two best in the NBA and you want to see a potential NBA Finals matchup, check out the Celtics at the Thunder on Sunday. We move on. Number two.
Ryan Leach.
It's the aforementioned game number 4 of the college football playoff. Notre Dame at Georgia. This could arguably be one of the fiercest Notre Dame teams I feel like I've seen in the last 15 years. Notre Dame often has been a team that has disappointed us in big moments, had a really terrible loss early on in the year and have clearly rectified that situation and are the prime example of sometimes when the bad things happen or the adversity hits, which is what people need, the best results are formed off of it. And I think that's the example of this Notre Dame team. This is the worst Georgia offense we have probably seen and the worst Georgia defense we've probably seen in the last 5 years, which is crazy to say because they're still probably top 20 in both categories in the nation. They have a first-time quarterback starting for Georgia in the Gunnar Stockton dude, and he came in and won the SEC championship against Texas, but this is still his first collegiate start in a gigundo moment. So that's a huge factor there for Georgia. Those moments, though, I feel like tend to be a lot of fun when it comes to college football and the college football playoff. History of these things have happened. If you remember Ohio State, Cardell Jones, I believe it was the third string quarterback, ends up leading Ohio State to a national championship. Those things happen. These are those moments, and I would love to see that for the UGA quarterback. However, I'm starting to not believe, in these teams that are supposed to be the higher ranked team, higher seeded team, more experience that UGA has over Notre Dame. So I'll stick with my +1 UGA, but it's going to be tough. But I want you to watch that game tonight. And then finally, your number 1, what I need you to watch this weekend.
Number 1.
Uno.
And it's a threefold, and it's going to bring us into our last 2 segments of the day. It is the Bengals, the Broncos, and the Dolphins. As a friendly reminder, the AFC wild card still needs to be determined, and the Broncos have the easiest path in. They have to defeat a Chiefs team that is essentially sitting everyone and their mother this coming weekend. Then you have the Bengals. They play on Saturday, so they play first of the 3 teams. They go to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh, they're trying to avoid a 4-game losing streak, so that's going to be intriguing. And then the Dolphins, who take on the Jets, okay, and potentially Aaron Rodgers' last game of his career. Since he plays Saturday, Denver plays on Sunday at 4:25, and the Dolphins play on Sunday at 4:25. That is by far the number 1 thing or things you need to watch this weekend with the most fun implications of anything that I might have just suggested for you to watch. Again, the reason why we're popping this off on a Thursday is because unfortunately we are unable to be live on Friday tomorrow because I will be at the American Baseball Coaches Association convention in our nation's capital, hopefully improving my knowledge on the game of baseball. Picks really quickly. Let's run through them. Cleveland at Baltimore on Saturday at 4:30. Baltimore is favored by 17.5 in this game, and they need it because they're still fighting for the Steelers for that division. So I'm going to actually take Baltimore here at the -17.5. The next game is Pittsburgh, who needs to win to, 1, avoid a losing streak, become the 3rd team in Super Bowl era to enter the playoffs with 4 or more game losing streak. The Jets and the Lions, the other 2 teams to do that. You'll get that entire division settled on Saturday. Since he's favored in this game by 1.5, even though they're on the road, as much as I want to believe in the Steelers, and I've been a Steelers supporter for this entire season, been a Russell Wilson supporter, and I've been a Mike Tomlin supporter for his entire career. I'm going to have to go with the Bengals in this one. They're just way too hot right now, and I just think the way this AFC storyline is going, it would only make sense that the Bengals would win on Saturday. We have to wake up on Sunday and wait till 4:25 slate to even entertain what might happen. I'm excited about that fun Week 18 for the National Football League. The Carolina Panthers at the Falcons. Falcons need this one. Panthers don't. Falcons are favored by 7.5. I'll take the Falcons at the minus 7.5. Washington at Dallas. Same scenario here, except both teams kind of don't really need this game, but I do believe Washington's still playing and preparing for the postseason. Favored by 5 points. I'm going to take Washington at the minus 5. Chicago at Green Bay. Chicago stinks. Green Bay trying to go into the postseason on a high. Green Bay minus 10. Give me the Green Bay minus 10. Houston at Tennessee. Houston's got to straighten something out. Tennessee is favored in this game. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Favored in this game at home by 1. Give me Houston at the +1. Also, side note, take the under 38.5 on that one. Jacksonville at Indianapolis. Both teams are atrocious. Indy's favored by 5. Give me Jacksonville at the +5. Buffalo at New England. I don't think the Bills are playing for anything here. I think the Patriots are playing for something here. Give me New England at the +2.5. Giants at Eagles. Saquon Barkley not going for the all-time rushing record. Sad. Yes, because I wanted to see the Saquon versus Giants storyline and doing it against the Giants. Less about anything else than that. Nonetheless, the Eagles have Super Bowl on their mind. The Giants, don't you think you could see them like randomly winning this game? Yes, I could, because you know what? We're on to the third string quarterback for the Eagles. So actually, I want to take the Giants here, and I want to take them at the +2.5. That would be the perfect ode to an atrocious season to win your last two and now pick 10th instead of picking first. New Orleans at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay favored by 13.5. I'm going to take Tampa Bay here at the +13.5. Kansas City at Denver. Kansas City not playing anybody. Denver is favored in this game by 10.5. I'm going to take Denver at the +10.5. They need it as well. Los Angeles at Las Vegas. Give me the Chargers at the +5, even though the Raiders, I've picked them 2 times in 2 weeks, and I've been right. However, I think they're not going out on a 3-game losing streak, and I think the Chargers will win this one. Seattle at Los Angeles. Los Angeles is sitting a lot of people. Seattle is not. Give me Seattle at the -6.5. They're favored by. Dolphins at Jets. I have Miami is favored by 1. Give me the Dolphins at -1. Tyler Huntley starting, though he did play good last week. The Jets suck. San Fran at Arizona. Both teams are out. Arizona favored by 4. Give me Arizona at the -4. And then finally, Minnesota at Detroit. This is the biggest game of the weekend. The winner of this wins the NFC #1 overall seed. The loser goes to the 5th seed. Detroit is favored by 3 in this game, and I am going to pick the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, you heard that correctly. Why, you may ask? Because it would be so Detroit Lions to have essentially held the 1 seed and the NFC North crown for the entirety of the season, possibly get their first 1 seed ever in the history of their franchise and lose on the last weekend to a then 15-win team and be a 14-win 5th seed in the wild card. I can't think of anything more Detroit Lions or New York Jets in the entirety of my lifetime. So if you want me to take straight up, I'm taking the Vikings. If you want me to take the spread, I'll take the Vikings at the +3. Whatever you want, I will take that. I'm actually going to take that as one of my bananas for this weekend. I'm also going to take the Steelers, okay, and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to take the Bengals at the -1.5. So those are my 2, what I would like to call locks in terms of the National Football League that I'd like to put into the bananas. I would like to take Gunnar Stockton at 2+ TDs for UGA, and then I'm going to take UGA at the +1. I just feel like I said before, it's one of those storylines that you're just like, dude, I could see this happening. This kid goes off. They beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame gets eviscerated for losing this game, and at the end of the day, UGA moves on to a semifinal again. I have no clue. At the end of the day, I'm just going to say this. Kudos to both those coaching staffs for handling what they're probably handling right now, which is just terrible. Those are our 4 bananas. We will also on social media put out our chosen picks for the National Football League, so you have it all, so you can make as much bananas on your bushel as possible this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, that would be considered the Rome Show here on a Thursday, January 2nd, 2025, first show of the year. Thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in NOLA. I hope we can continue to turn it around as a country and as people. The Rome Show. We will see you next week.
Thank you for listening.